I mean, I think we all five do it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard to just be like, oh, it's just me and her, right? Because it literally is all of us. Like we all move in certain rotations. When I move, she move. When she move, they move. So I think it's all of us understanding that we got to be on the string and understanding if this person go, I got to go. Then this person got to go. So I don't think it's just a me and Liv thing. I think it take all of us to be able to be in the position that we in.
Now, you see, this is her talking about Olivia Miles on defense. Now, Olivia Miles is the second most ISO player in the league, but it's...
Man, Courtney Williams and Cheryl Reeve just completely embarrassed Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever with their handling of Caitlin Clark. This whole situation is absolutely mind-boggling. It is crazy. It is really, truly crazy when you sit down and look at the situation we are stuck in right now. Really think about it. We have Courtney Williams and Cheryl Reeve fundamentally humiliating the Indiana Fever and their handling of Caitlin Clark. These are two people in Minnesota who have clearly gone all in on their new, young star point guard, while the Indiana Fever, Stephanie White, and Kelsey Mitchell have done the complete and utter opposite. We have to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. That would be greatly appreciated as always. Now, we know Olivia Miles has been off to a spectacular start. She has had an absolutely spectacular start to the beginning of her WNBA career. And this is largely in part because of who we are about to talk about in Courtney Williams and Cheryl Reeve. Now, Courtney Williams absolutely leaned into Olivia Miles. There was no ego involved whatsoever. This is completely unlike the Kelsey Mitchell situation in Indiana. Unlike the rigidness we see elsewhere, Cheryl Reeve leaned in completely, unlike Stephanie White. They are completely all in on their young guard. Meanwhile, all we have been trying to do is get this exact type of support for Caitlin Clark. Bro, that is literally all we have been trying to do, and we cannot seem to get it done. Take a look at the mindset in Minnesota. When asked what it has been like gelling with Olivia on the defensive side of the floor, the response from Courtney Williams tells you everything you need to know about championship culture. She immediately deflects the praise from just a two-person dynamic and makes it about the entire unit. She emphasizes that all 5 players on the court are doing the work. She says it is hard to just say it is a matter of her and Olivia, because it literally involves everyone. She talks about moving in certain rotations. When one person moves, the next person moves, and then the rest of the team moves. It is about understanding that they all have to be on a string. If one person goes, the next person has to go. She makes it incredibly clear that it is not just a dynamic between her and Olivia. It takes all of them to be in the successful position they are currently in. Now, you see, this is her talking about Olivia Miles on defense. Olivia Miles is the second most isolation-heavy player in the entire league, but there is a massive gap between the situation with Caitlin and the situation with Olivia because of what Courtney Williams just explained. She said, look, it is all 5 of us. When you move, I move. When I move, they move. We are moving as one cohesive unit. We are actively helping each other on the floor. They are not leaving Olivia Miles out there to play one-on-one defense by herself all game long. This right here is the ultimate difference between a championship caliber team, a veteran all-star like Courtney Williams, a championship head coach like Cheryl Reeve, versus the absolute nonsense we have going on right now in Indiana. And before we even get to what Cheryl Reeve had to say about the situation, let us really sit down and analyze this Courtney Williams dynamic with Olivia Miles in direct comparison to Kelsey Mitchell. Courtney Williams last year was an all-star, just like Kelsey Mitchell, but Courtney Williams has won way more in her WNBA career than Kelsey Mitchell has. Make no mistake about it. Please, make no mistake about it. Courtney Williams has won significantly more than Kelsey Mitchell. Period. She went to the WNBA Finals. Kelsey Mitchell, on the other hand, has lost more games than she wanted to over the course of her entire career. Courtney Williams had absolutely no problem adjusting. She is on a max deal, by the way. She is a max contract player who had no problem taking a back seat and saying, "Hey, Olivia Miles, you do your thing, and I will figure out how I can fit in with what you do." We simply could not get that out of Kelsey Mitchell. It always has to be about Kelsey when it comes to the Indiana Fever. Why cannot we get that exact same selfless energy from Kelsey for Caitlin Clark? Courtney Williams can go all in on Olivia Miles without a second thought. But Kelsey Mitchell wants to fight against the Caitlin Clark system every step of the way. It is nasty work, man. It really is. This is the glaring difference between somebody who operates with a massive ego and a proven winner who operates with absolutely no ego at all. Now, let us shift gears and take a look at what head coach Cheryl Reeve had to say about Olivia Miles. She openly acknowledges that Olivia is showing them incredible things every single day. Reeve mentioned that on draft night, she believed there were 2 players in the draft that possessed generational skills. But now, after watching her play and working with her, Reeve boldly states that she would classify Olivia Miles as a generational talent. That is a huge statement from a championship coach. When asked about the scouting process and how they identify this kind of talent, Reeve explained that it is really easy to identify great passing. Instinctual passing is rare. There are not a lot of players who are naturally great at it. Combined with a quick release and her ability to score the basketball, she is incredibly valuable. Reeve thought the draft had really good players, especially right in the mid-first round, and we are absolutely seeing it play out exactly that way on the court. Reeve further elaborated on the scouting process. She explained that when you watch a player repeat successful actions over and over again, as Olivia has been doing for a very long time, it becomes a matter of projecting how that will translate to the professional level. Can the player figure out the pro game in terms of the increased pace, the heightened physicality, and all the extra stuff that goes with being a professional? That is the part you never truly know until they get there. You do your research. You do your homework. You listen to the people who have coached these players in the past. You try to put them in different situations mentally and evaluate their character. You assess what their willpower is like. You want to know how they react when things do not go their way. You gather all this information and try to make a determination from there. And the Lynx initially thought, for sure, that she would be a really good backup point guard if they needed one. But she has obviously proven to be so much more. See, Cheryl Reeve has completely gone all in on Olivia Miles. And because of this, Courtney Williams and Cheryl Reeve are humiliating the Indiana Fever in the process. You have Cheryl Reeve, a coach who has won at the absolute highest level of the sport, who does not have too much ego and is not too rigid to try to force Olivia Miles into a pre-existing system. She is actively catering her offensive and defensive systems to what Olivia Miles does well. She's building the entire framework around Olivia Miles's natural strengths. She said that herself. Then you look at Courtney Williams, who was an all-star herself, who holds a max contract herself. She has willingly molded her own game around what Olivia Miles does, not the other way around. She is not sitting there telling Olivia Miles, "You have to figure me out and just get in where you fit in." She looked at the rookie and said, "No, Olivia, you do you. We are going to build this entire thing up around you, and I will be the one to get in where I fit in." That is the fundamental difference in what we are dealing with when we look at Indiana. This level of support, this lack of ego, this willingness to adapt, this is exactly what we have wanted for Caitlin Clark since day one. But instead of adapting, we have people in Indiana making excuses. We hear things getting said by Stephanie White that are just frustrating to listen to. She gets up there and says things like, "You know, we are not trying to appease the masses. We are trying to win ball games." She talks about how, for them, it is about figuring things out on a consistent basis. She claims that their big three are learning to play together again. She uses the excuse that because Caitlin missed as much time as she did a year ago, finding a flow naturally takes time. And then she drops the biggest excuse of all. She says it takes especially long when Kelsey and Aaliyah had the ball in their hands so much a year ago. and now they have to adjust to other pieces. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Courtney Williams was the starting point guard for the Minnesota Lynx. She had the ball in her hands the whole damn time last year. What are you talking about? Courtney Williams literally ran the offense. Natasha Howard was not even on their team. Kayla McBride was there. I was at the playoff game. I was sitting right there at the playoff game between the Minnesota Lynx and the Phoenix Mercury. The game before Nafisa Collier got hurt, and after Nafisa Collier got hurt, it was Kayla McBride and Courtney Williams who had the ball in their hands the entire game. They controlled everything, so that is not an excuse. You cannot use the excuse that Kelsey and Aaliyah are struggling because they are used to having the ball. Courtney Williams was used to having the ball, and she adapted perfectly fine. Caitlin, Aaliyah, and Kelsey already know how to play together. They were playing together just fine before Stephanie White even got there. This is exactly what I am talking about. This is the frustrating reality we have to deal with in Indiana, man. And this is precisely why they are being taught an absolute clinic by Courtney Williams and Cheryl Reeve. The Lynx are showing the entire league how it is supposed to be done. They are showing what happens when professionals put their egos to the side. They are not too rigid in their ways. They do not force players into boxes. Instead, they lean entirely into their young, generational star. They protect her on defense, they empower her on offense, and they sacrifice their own individual statistics for the betterment of the team's future. Meanwhile, the complete and total opposite has happened in Indiana. The veterans want their shots. The coach wants her system, and the generational talent is the one suffering because of it. It is a masterclass in how to build a team in Minnesota and a tragic example of how to hold a team back in Indiana. Get down in the comments section below. Let me know exactly what you think about this entire situation. This is WNBA. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.